Thank you for being here. To remember, to honor, and to celebrate my mom, our mom, Mary Rickard Hughes. I'm Jurian. You may know me better as Martha, and I'm happy to answer to that too. On behalf of myself, my brother Charles, and my sister Meg, we are so grateful that you're here. In addition to being with us today, thank you for the many ways in which you showed up for our mom, our dad, or us, especially over these last few months and years. Thank you to Pastor Matthew for the way he inspired our parents, to this congregation that meant so much to both of them. Some of the happiest memories I have with Mom over these last few years are sitting in that very pew and holding her hand and singing with her and listening to Pastor Matthew's sermons. Thank you for this congregation. Thank you to the friends and neighbors that looked out for Mary, that were kind, that were patient, that took time to visit or to call or write a note or bring food or shovel a driveway. Thank you to family, loyal and loving grandchildren, joy-inducing great-grandchildren, much appreciated in-laws and ex-in-laws. Meg's husband, Mike, who literally moved in to take care of Mom. Charlie's wife, Kelly, who so graciously took over hosting our family gatherings. My partner, David, who intrigued Mom and took such good care of me these last few months. Debbie Woods Greenfield, who has been so kind and helpful. To close-by neighbors and to those who traveled far, thank you. Thank you all for all the ways you supported our mom and dad, and thank you for joining us today. Unfortunately, it feels like we were all just here in this church together to mourn the passing of my dad, Harold Hughes, who died in June. It's not completely surprising, perhaps, that we're here again so soon, but that doesn't make it any less difficult. It's one of life's great paradoxes. The loss of our most treasured beloveds is both completely natural and absolutely awful. That said, my siblings and I are quite aware that we are the lucky ones. We got not one, but two great parents. They weren't saints, don't get me wrong, but they were loving and loyal and devoted to one another and to us. Mom and Dad made a lot of sacrifices to keep those commitments. I'm quite sure that wasn't always easy, and we are so grateful. Today would have been Mom's 95th birthday. No small feat to make it this far, but again, not completely surprising if you knew her. Mom was, as they say, a pistol. Small of stature, unbelievably small in these last years, but feisty and fiery. Born in 1928, she was a child of the Depression. Growing up in those years made her a fighter. I want to say hard ass, but we're in church. She was a tomboy, they used to say. I think that's probably not a PC word any longer, but that's what she was. A spitfire. She loved kickball, baseball, stickball, kick the can. She grew up just around the corner on Prospect Terrace in what's known as the Hiram Briggs House, and then later the Jacob Krause Inn on 146 just past Gun Club Road. Her dad managed the A&P at the corner of Main and Maple, now Farmhouse Tap and Tavern. She was born here, grew up here, raised her family here, and lived almost all her life here in Altamont. Had she been born 20 years later, Mom would have become a phys ed teacher. She told me so. But in 1946, girls didn't do such things. So instead, she studied to be a school teacher. She taught music, chorus, in second grade, more appropriate pursuits for a young woman at the time. When she went off to Potsdam for college, her parents moved out west to Arizona. Mom followed, finishing her schooling up out there at Arizona State, where she played in a 50-piece marching band. But she'd come back east in the summers to waitress and to live at Albany Country Club. And it was there that she met a busboy who would become her husband, Harold. She actually dated his older brother, Dick, first, which I always imagine must have created some tension, but no one in the family seems to have held on to that. Mom's love of sports never wavered. She became an avid tennis player. I'm sure she beat some people in this room, participating in clubs and tournaments all around town. She helped get a tennis court installed at what's now Showing Park. And Mom was a good player and competitive. She played well into her 80s. Apparently, though, she didn't have a lot of power. She was notorious for strategy. She consistently beat younger players by using their power shots against them. I remember Dad saying that she very carefully let him win every tennis game they played together, until the day they were married. As soon as they were on their honeymoon, she let her true colors show, and then he never won another game. Mom, in fact, had a tendency to take up sports that Dad took an interest in. Skiing, running, and then surpassed him. We're pretty sure that Dad's great love of golf in the last decades of his life was at least partly fueled by the fact that it was the one sport Mom never really took to.